warning has ended for Metro Vancouver. Still, hundreds of hydro customers are in the dark this evening after an earlier windstorm. These are the latest outages right now. The Lower Mainland Sunshine Coast, there are over 5,000 customers affected. On Vancouver Island North, just under 5,000 are left in the dark, and Vancouver Island South, around 650 customers are without power tonight. Meantime, BC Ferries has resumed service after strong winds forced the cancellations of several sailings. That delayed thousands of ferry passengers and in some cases left them frustrated for the better part of the day. Jill Bennett has more.
This is the aftermath of several earlier sailings being canceled. A lot of people waiting in line to get on a BC ferry. Many have been here for hours. Though the wind wasn't too extreme, BC Ferries decided to cancel several afternoon sailings between the mainland and Vancouver Island after checking in with Environment Canada.
Good evening. Well, it's certainly been an eventful several days. Check out Shannon Falls from earlier today. A ton of water coming down. I wanted to just show you quickly some stats from yesterday's rainfall. We had the 6th rainiest day on record at YVR. Yesterday was 67 millimeters of rain. Here are the top 5, with number 1 at close to 92 millimeters, and that was in September 8th. 2004. Nonetheless, 67 is nothing to sneeze at. That was a lot of water, and that's one of the reasons why we were so worried about this windstorm. The ground was so saturated. We needed to make sure people are aware. With the windstorm, we could have had down trees, fallen trees, and down power lines. But these were the peak wind gusts, not much more than that. They really didn't transpire, and we're not expecting them overnight either. Here's a look, though, at the winds that we saw at higher elevations. 120 kilometer-an-hour winds in through higher elevations, causing these Undulatus asperatus clouds this morning. Incredible sight, ominous looking, ahead of what we were anticipating with that windstorm. I got that one from North Vancouver, but very cool clouds. Neat to see that.
Sun up. Any moment now, though. 5 degrees at this hour. We are expecting temperatures to reach about 7 degrees. Hey, 5 is usually where we are at as far as seasonal values go. All right, let's talk about the winds that we are expecting for you in Sandspit. For instance, later this morning, 65k gusts. We're looking at the most intense winds for you earlier in the day. And look at this. By 4 p.m., 102 kilometer per hour wind gusts for this general area. Prince Rupert, 78. Mostly it's going to be exposed sections. Stewart, 68k winds. And here, we're expecting a fair amount of snow as well, 15 to 25 centimeters. So all this to say it's going to be a gusty one up and down the coast as well. I'll show you your wind warnings that we do have in effect. So it does include parts of the Sunshine Coast, inland sections, the Central Coast, and then pretty much the entire perimeter of the island. Winds are going to be strongest through the afternoon for most of us. However, it's an evening situation for you in Greater Victoria. So around the dinner hour, I think we're going to start to see those winds ramp up. It's going to be at about 70 to 80 kilometer per hour gusts are possible through that area. But what I want to show you here with these very tightly packed ISO bars, those are your strong winds that we're expecting yet again. And you'll note we have another stormy week ahead. Several systems, just another grade of systems that are going to be impacting us through this week. And now I'll look at your long-range forecast. So we'll refine those details by region. -8 today in the BCPs. Tomorrow, that's when we're expecting some light flurries. It's going to be a gusty morning. And I mentioned those winds for Metro Vancouver. Today's also going to be gusty closer to the water. A morning chance of showers, but then into the afternoon, we're going to have breaks in the precipitation. A break ahead of all of this, Jen.
Okay, well, I guess we'll take that. Thanks so much, Kasha.